It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Worldwide Sports Radio presents the Haystack Show. Yo, with Mike Guido.
And here we are on a Thursday. It's the Haystack on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, WorldwideSportsRadio.com. Mike Guido, Evan Mazza, my producer, Monica Ray, Big J journalist. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm super excited about Christmas.
Are you?
I am.
On this Friday, Junior?
Friday, Junior.
There you go. All right, plenty of stuff to go over today. Barrington, Grant, in about an hour. We have winners and losers of Week 15. I do that every single week. There's 5 of each. Plenty of stuff to go over today. Buy or sell later. But I do want to begin with this because it is the Christmas season. It is the holiday season. So I figured I'd have a little bit of fun today because Lord knows I don't have any fun on any of my other shows. So it's cold and it's freezing outside. It snowed a little bit yesterday here in New York. It's getting more and more wintry by the day.
Wait, can I ask you, were you in the snow squall yesterday?
No.
Right, so here's my situation. I was at the Smith Haven Mall.
Yeah.
I got the alert that there was a snow squall, and my phone's going off, and so is everybody else's in the store.
Oh, with the Amber
so
Alert.
you hear like the
It
echo?
was like,
Are you hearing an
I'm
echo
like,
around?
What is this, Attack of the Aliens or something? And
Yeah.
then I look at my phone.
Well,
I'm
that
like,
Amber Alert
yeah,
ring is disturbing. It really is.
it is. And then
It
I'm
is
like,
not
oh,
fun.
a snow squall? No big deal.
Yeah.
Was it packed? Was it packed to the mall? Probably probably a stupid question, but was it packed to the mall?
Yeah, it wasn't too crazy.
Wasn't
I
too crazy?
I got a spot right away. So.
Yeah, it really isn't that bad right
Yeah,
now.
it wasn't
I don't
too
know.
bad. But driving in the snow squall, everyone was like,
Yeah.
oh, my God. It was I don't know. Just drive, people.
Yeah, I don't know.
For
I have
real?
no idea.
Jeez.
But now we haven't really gotten. She said like a snow, like it was a slight snow thing. It really wasn't a huge.
It was a little thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's really
Ain't
what
no
it was.
thing.
But but we sometimes get these big ones, and most of the time kids love it. Right? Whenever we do, kids absolutely love it. They get off from school. They can go sledding. They can go play in the snow. All that, whatever. And one of my favorite things about Twitter is how creative people get based on the time of year or like certain current events or whatever it may be. Twitter can get really, really creative with things. Okay, it's one of the positives to go along with just as many negatives about Twitter. So I found a question on Twitter the other day that I thought was fascinating, and it had something to do with the NFL. It asked, if you had to draft 3 NFL players to have on your team for a snowball fight, who would they be? Now, the answers were really interesting because there were a lot of different combinations. Some people dialed in on arm strength, some focused on speed, some focused on accuracy, and a bunch of different traits that would qualify for a snowball fight. But what most people had in common was that they picked great athletes. Nobody picked Tom Brady because he's a statue. Yet nobody picked Phillip Rivers. Yet nobody picked Ben Roethlisberger. Yet very few people picked Drew Brees. Everyone wanted athletes. They wanted the speed and the arm. So Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson and all those guys got picked a ton as far as quarterbacks, right? The question wasn't just limited to quarterbacks. You could pick anybody. So I picked Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Saquon Barkley. I got my arm strength, I got my speed and athleticism, and I got my elusiveness. That's what I wanted in a snowball fight. But think about how almost everyone wanted the guys who could move and showed they were athletic. Everybody wanted those guys. Isn't that the way the league is moving? It got me thinking. Think about this. Look at all the teams that are leading their divisions. All but 2 of them have great athletes at quarterback. So that's Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott. Those are the guys leading their divisions right now. Even the wild card teams, Josh Allen, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins, like, they can all move. They're all athletes to a certain extent. They are. They're not all runners, but they can all escape the pocket and be athletes when they need to be. The only two that aren't great athletes leading their divisions, Tom Brady and Drew Brees, two of the best of all time. One is the most accurate thrower in the history of the game, and the other is a 6-time Super Bowl champion who plays for the greatest coach ever. Everyone else, athletes. They're all athletes. These are all guys that can run. These are all guys that are mobile. These are all guys that can move. Okay, nobody picked any of the guys that could just sit there and deliver the ball. Didn't matter how accurate. Okay, there were very few people that picked Drew Brees, and it was because of his accuracy. But nobody picked Brady. Nobody picked Ben Roethlisberger. Nobody picked Phillip Rivers. Nobody picked the statues in the league. Okay, the league is moving away from quarterbacks that can't do anything but deliver the ball from the pocket. It's moving away from that. The offensive lines are gradually declining in the league. Most of the time, you won't be throwing from a clean pocket. You're going to have to escape some pressure. So you better have the legs to do that, or you're a dead man walking. You are. Take a look at this year's draft class. If you asked most scouts who had the best arm in the draft, most of them would say Jacob Eason out of Washington. That kid can throw it through a brick wall. He can. This kid has arm like nothing else. Jacob Eason's arm is ridiculous. But he's not mobile. The guy doesn't move. And that's going to drop him probably into the second round or so, most likely. He might still be a solid player, but he's got to become more mobile or he'll die in this league. Okay, Jacob Eason's a great young player. Okay, he's got a gifted, and I mean gifted arm, but he doesn't move. He's not an athlete. Okay, the guy could be, seriously, the guy's going to throw the ball 100 miles an hour, but as soon as you bring pressure, he's going to struggle. Look at what's happening to Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's got a talented arm. He does. Baker Mayfield has a really talented arm in this league. As soon as they bring pressure, as soon as it's a dirty pocket, and he's got to roll out, Baker Mayfield's not an athlete. He can't roll out. This is a player that can't move. Baker Mayfield's not an athlete. So now they're going to tell me, but Guido, you keep telling us that pocket guys last in this league and runners, they die out quick. That's what you keep saying. That what I'm telling you is that you have to be able to precisely throw the football and throw from the pocket. You have to be able to do that. You can't rely on your legs because you'll either get hurt or you'll get figured out. That's it. Okay, but you have to be an athlete. I'm not saying you got to be a guy that he's got to deliver the ball from the pocket. No, you do have to be able to throw the ball from the pocket, but you can move outside of it. Yeah, I want you to be an athlete. I want you to be an actual football player. Okay, I don't want you to be a guy that's got a good arm, right? But you have to be an athlete. You've got to be able to extend a play. This isn't a league where you can get away with the least athletic guy in the field being your quarterback. Okay, he's got to be one of the most athletic guys. It's got to go receiver, receivers 1, maybe if you've got a real good running back 2, and then quarterback. And maybe your quarterback has to be more athletic than your running back does. Okay, this is why Lamar is so successful. He's fast, and he can complete 66% of his throws. Okay, same goes for Russell Wilson. The best quarterbacks in this league are all guys that don't get their feet stuck in the turf. That's just the reality of the situation. The league is shifting to where athletes play quarterback, and not just the doofy, slow white guys who used to be baseball players. It's not like that anymore. Okay, Tom Brady used to be a left-handed hitting catcher, and now he plays quarterback. The league is moving away from the Tom Brady's. You got to be able to move. You got to be able to run a little bit. Okay, this is a position where guys that played running back realized they couldn't make any money doing that, so they switched to quarterback. That's what the league is turning into, and it's working out. A lot of teams are winning that way. Okay, I keep saying that sports are cyclical. They constantly change. The NFL is changing into one big snowball fight. It is. Who has the best athletes, especially at quarterback? Think about who you want to have on your team for a snowball fight. And that's how you should evaluate your quarterbacks. It should be. Are they elusive? Can they run? Can they escape? Are good arm strength? Are they accurate? You need to include the athleticism in this now. Okay? Is he athletic? Can he sling it? And can he deliver the ball on time and on target? That's it right there. That's your evaluation of quarterback. Okay? And you look at this year's class. Joe Burrow can do all of those things. Tua does all of those things. Justin Herbert does all of those things. That's why those guys are up top. Okay? And the guys like Jacob Eason, who might have the most talented arm in the draft, is falling a little bit because he can't move. He's not an athlete. Great arm, but not an athlete. Okay? They've got to have all three. Speaking of which, let's shift to this. So I was talking to one of my buddies yesterday. And he's also in radio, and we were talking about the Cowboys. Okay, we were in the studio doing radio stuff. That's what radio guys do. We blow steam on mics and, stuff like that. He was doing a segment on how the Cowboys are underachieving. You don't got to tell me twice. They absolutely are. They absolutely should be better than they are. So we started talking about this weekend's game between the Cowboys and the Eagles. And the Eagles are underachieving too, big time. Now, if I were a betting man, which I am, I'd stay away from this game just because it's too unpredictable. Too many guys are hurt. Dak is a little banged up. This game could turn out to just be a flat-out mess. It really could be. But him and I both agreed on this. Dallas has to win this football game. They have to win this football game. There isn't an excuse here. In fact, this game shouldn't be close. Losing this game is borderline embarrassing for the Cowboys if they were to lose it. Think about it. We should be thinking about this game as a no-brainer for the Cowboys. They should blow out the Eagles this weekend. They should. The talent is beyond on Dallas' side. Better quarterback, better running back, better wide receivers, better offensive line, better defense. Dallas just has more talent on virtually every single level. The Eagles have a better tight end. That's it. That's all they got. On top of that, the Eagles are severely banged up. Everybody's injured. Everybody's injured. Think about it, their entire team is hurt. They literally ran out of wide receivers. They're out of them. Half of their O-line is out. Their entire defense has guys out. The Eagles are more hospital than football team right now. They are. Okay, the Cowboys are much healthier, and right now they are simply just better. They're a better football team than the Eagles. But we know this. And it isn't hard to figure out why Dallas is only a 2.5-point favorite on the road. We don't have to dive too deep into this anymore. It's Jason Garrett. You don't know what Cowboys you're going to get. Are you going to get the Cowboys that dismantled the Rams last week, or are you getting the Cowboys that lost to the Jets with Sam Darnold fresh off mono?
Or the Cowboy team that lost to the Bears and Mitch Trubisky threw 3 touchdown passes on them. Or the Cowboy team that almost lost to a backup quarterback in Jeff Driscoll.
Correct.
Or are you going to get an Eagles team that won last week was able to come back and win against Washington? Or you're going to get an Eagles team that lost to Miami.
Right.
And even Philadelphia had trouble beating Washington twice.
It's flip a coin and find out.
It is honestly what really affects this game is this Dak injury because the Cowboys had the advantage in every aspect of this game. But now with the injury to Dak Prescott, now you have to factor in the Eagles have the healthier quarterback.
Right.
Now you have to factor that in.
Right. But this is where we are with them. But they're out of reasons why they're not winning. Okay, it's no longer a personnel issue. It's a coaching issue. Okay, now there are arguments out there that are valid that I disagree with. The people that say, well, the players have to execute and play good. They got to play better. They have a point. They do. Then there's the people that say, well, the Cowboys will never win until Jerry Jones gives up control. That may also be true. But here's the problem. When you're in business and you're not getting the production you want, you troubleshoot your own business. You do. What isn't working? And at some point you realize you've gone through everything and you're still not getting the production you want. So you look at the one thing you haven't changed. In this case for the Cowboys, Jason Garrett is the common denominator. 9 years as a Dallas Cowboy head coach. And what has he brought it? Okay, the Cowboys don't have a choice but to deal with this problem first. They have to. You know that this isn't working, so you have to move on from it. Bring in a new coach, and if it works, great. You solved your problem. That's it. If it doesn't work, it's back to the drawing board. Okay, that's just like anything else. You have to be in a realistic scenario for change. The Cowboys are not overhauling this roster. Jerry isn't selling the team. You've got to deal with this problem as it presents itself to you. Coaching is that clear problem, and they have to take care of this. Okay, also think about this. What's the other option? If Dallas doesn't get rid of Jason Garrett, what's the solution to fixing them? Get rid of Dak? Like, what is it? This roster is good, and they should destroy Philadelphia on Sunday. They should, but they might not because of the same thing that's been holding them back for 9 years, coaching. Dallas should walk into Philly and blow the doors off of them in their own building. But I have a feeling that won't happen. And the big thing is that we'll be having the wrong conversation on Monday if that happens. I know it. Okay, the topic will be how Carson Wentz outplayed Dak with no weapons and less talent around him, and how the Cowboys should give up on Dak or somehow pay him less money. Can we drop this whole undermining Dak thing? Can we drop it? He's their quarterback, and he will be their quarterback for a while. Okay, everyone will be talking about how Carson Wentz is clearly better than Dak Prescott. And we were foolish to think they were even close. Oh, God, we are... Oh, boy. Instead of having the actual discussion of how Doug Peterson and Jason Garrett shouldn't be mentioned in the same breath. There you go.
And yet Garrett has a 5-2 record against Doug Peterson.
Correct.
Which I don't think any of us can figure out.
So if I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm worried that I'm in such trouble that I might not win this Sunday because of my current situation. My coach is so bad that we're favored by less than a field goal on the road to a team that has literally run out of wide receivers because of injuries. They're out of them. Look at their depth chart. Everybody, Alshon Jeffrey's hurt. Nelson Aguilar's hurt. Deshaun Jackson's hurt. They are literally out of wide receivers.
And Jeffrey
gone.
Doesn't look like Jeffrey's going to play either. And guys like Greg Ward are having to, and Greg Ward had a big game on Sunday against Washington.
Right.
Greg Ward has had to step up. Guys like Greg Ward have had to step up big time and play well.
Right.
It's not easy. It's not an easy thing for the Eagles offense.
The Eagles season should be over. It should be over. But it's not.
And that's because of Dallas, though.
It is.
It's because the Cowboys have allowed them. It's like with the Ravens and the Steelers last year and how Baltimore won the division. Baltimore won the division because they went 6-1, sure. But Pittsburgh collapsed and pretty much gave the Ravens a chance to win the division. Dallas has done the same thing. They have given the Eagles, despite their struggles and problems, a chance to win this division if they run the table.
Right.
They have given them a chance because they have struggled over the last 4 or 5, 6 weeks because they've underachieved. Losing a close game to Minnesota, a game they never should have lost. Almost losing to Detroit. Getting blown out by the Bears. Losing to the. There's a loss I'm missing in there. No, Buffalo on Thanksgiving. But then you bounce back and you blow out the Rams. So I need to see the Cowboys. Who are you? Are you the team that blew out the Rams, blew out the Eagles? Or are you the team that lost to Minnesota, Buffalo, almost lost to Detroit, got blown out by the Bears on Thursday night? Something has to give.
Exactly.
But the Cowboys have allowed the Eagles to stay in this division race. The Cowboys should have won this division by now.
Right.
They should have.
They should have. And Cowboys got to win this Sunday because they are out of excuses. They're out of excuses. It would be borderline embarrassing if the Cowboys were to lose this game and then lose the division. All right. Coming up next, we got news and then close to hour number 2 here in the Haystack and the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. You're listening to the Haystack Show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Good to have you back. Haystack, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Mike, Evan, excuse me. Oh, my goodness.
You okay? Is that a cookie repeat?
Yes.
That's Santa's head.
That and Santa's head combined with egg sandwich. Boy, oh boy, loaded today. Evan Mazza, my producer, Monica Ray, Big J, journalist. Good to have you in. So do you? I saw a story yesterday. It was about Kevin Garnett. Now I want to see this movie really bad. I think it's Uncut Gems, right? Evan?
Yes.
Uncut Gems. Adam Sandler and Kevin Garnett. Is it out yet or?
I think it comes out like in January. I think Garnett is in it. Mike Francesa is in it. Adam Sandler. Mm-hmm. I think it comes out in January.
I want to see it very badly.
Actually, it comes out. Actually, it comes out on Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. Okay. I really badly want to see that movie. Like, really badly. I think it looks really, really good. So Adam Sandler and Kevin Garnett went on the Bill Simmons podcast for The Ringer, and they were talking about LeBron. And when Bill Simmons says, all right, so Game 5 in 2012 against LeBron, you think you went a little too far with him, and Kevin Garnett's just like, well, we broke LeBron. We didn't give a crap about LeBron. We scared him out of Cleveland. We did all this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, KG, listen, you're one of the all-time great power forwards of all time. Kevin Garnett was unbelievably good. And he went to Boston with Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and Rajon Rondo. Okay, Rajon Rondo is one of the best passers of all time. Ray Allen is one of the best shooters of all time. Paul Pierce is one of the best small forwards of all time. I mean, the Boston Celtics at that point were incredibly good. Incredibly good. And they got waxed by LeBron in Miami. Waxed. Seriously, they went into Game 5 of that series, right? Miami goes back in Game 6. LeBron puts up 45, 15, and 5 in that game and blows the doors off of you. What are you doing talking your crap? Seriously, shut your hole, KG. Come on.
Shut your pie hole.
Seriously. Yeah, just say that to his face. I don't want to say it to his face. He's 6'11", and he'd kick my ass. But my point is that you got to quit acting like this is something that, seriously. KG, you got the doors kicked in with you. The doors kicked in. Okay, you won 1 title in Boston. 1 with all of that talent. You underachieved. What are we talking about here? Crazy. It really did blow my mind, that story. But, all right, let's go to our Big J journalist, Monica Ray, with the news on a Thursday.
Yay, Friday Junior. The
yes,
Friday
and you look
Christmas.
adorable with your little ears, and you're wearing a Christmas shirt and the flannel and everything. You're adorable today.
Thank you. So what's not adorable is Dak Prescott might not be playing this weekend.
I think he's going to play.
He's got an MRI scheduled for his right shoulder, which is his throwing arm. So I know Evan was telling me that Jerry Jones was out on the radio talking about Dak Prescott. I didn't get a chance to read that. Did you check that out, Evan?
He said, Jerry said that he's progressing, that he's going to play, and he's progressing pretty much. I think Dak. That's what Jerry said. I think Dak is going to play. I have no question in my mind he's going to play. I'm just curious how 100% he is. How healthy is he?
That's really
that
gonna
will
be
determine. This is going to determine the game because the Cowboys we talked about before. The Cowboys should have the more talent than the Eagles, but if Dak is hurt, all of a sudden the Eagles have the healthier quarterback.
Now here's the thing. There are a lot of people that are saying, well, this actually could be a blessing in disguise for the Cowboys because the Cowboys are much, much, much better. And it is evident they are much better when they run the football and they commit to running the football. Now, that doesn't mean that I think it's more Zeke's offense than Dak's offense, but I do believe that Dallas has a lot more success when they can control the football, when they control the clock, and they can run it, and they can, Dak doesn't have to throw the ball 40 times, but he throws the ball 25, 30 times, and Zeke gets the ball a bunch, and Tony Pollard gets the ball.
Times.
Right. I mean, that's when the Cowboys are most effective, when they're running the football effectively. Right? And I think that goes for a lot of teams. If you don't run the football very well, chances are you're not very good unless you have Patrick Mahomes, which... and people are going to say, oh, well, Russell Wilson's got one of the best rushing attacks also. So does Lamar Jackson. Running the football is crucially important in this game. Crucially important in this league. Dallas, Zeke's been having, to his standards, a relatively down year.
Right.
And...
I think he's going to play.
Listen, I think Dak's going to play. I think Dak's going to play too, but the fact that people think it's a blessing in disguise because Dak's injury is going to force the Cowboys to run the football more.
Right.
So people are actually saying this could be a blessing in disguise.
Right.
I don't buy that. The only reason I don't buy that is because, yes, they're gonna have to commit to running the football, but on top of that, if Dak needs to make a play, he might not be able to. You know what I mean? So I remember Ezekiel Elliott actually said a couple of days ago, he said, I had the exact same injury that Dak has right now, and I couldn't imagine trying to throw with it.
Wow.
There are doctors that are saying, yeah, at least in the short term, this is going to affect him. This is pretty serious. So... we'll see.
I guess we'll see what happens.
The Cowboys have to commit to the run either way because that's how they win. They run the ball, set up play action, throw the ball with Dak, and then run it 20, 25 times with Zeke. That's their engine of how they've always won. Now the Eagles have the third-ranked rush defense in the NFL, so that forces the Eagles. If the Eagles know Dak isn't healthy and Dak is not 100%, the Eagles can just stack the box, force Dak to beat them even more with this injured arm.
Right. The Eagles' weakness is against the
pass.
They can't defend the pass for anything.
Right.
So it's going to be coaching again. So here's another coaching opportunity.
That still doesn't excuse the coaching staff whether Dak is hurt or not because
no.
If you compare what Dallas is looking at and what Philly's looking at, Dallas is going to have more than likely no Leighton Vander Esch on defense. They haven't had him for a month. That's whatever at this point.
Big loss.
It is a big loss, but they've played a lot of games without him already.
Right.
And they might have a limited Dak Prescott, but everybody else is good. Philadelphia has no Jordan Howard, no Nelson Aguilar, no Alshon Jeffrey, no Deshaun Jackson. Half the offensive line's hurt. They have half of their starting defense hurt. Everybody on Philadelphia is hurt. The only thing they have going for them is that Carson Wentz is going to be fully healthy. If Philadelphia wins this football game, there is no excuse for Dallas. I don't care if Dak Prescott's limited. Look at what Philadelphia has on paper. There's no excuse for the Cowboys to lose this game. None.
Right.
None.
All right.
Anyway, what's next, Monica?
So Tom Copeland was fired as the executive vice president for the Jaguars, and There was some kind of letter that was put out to the Players Association, so every football player got it, and it said, look, if you're thinking about coming here, just know that 25% of all complaints have been filed in the last 2 years against the Jaguars. So it's almost like they kind of blacklisted them a little bit.
Well, I mean, listen, like...
Who puts out a letter like that? Hey, heads up, guys. If you're thinking about coming here, just know this is a lot of problems. A lot of people complain.
Well, they fired him, so I think they're... I'm not sure that matters anymore. They kind of... I think Jacksonville just said, listen, we've been having... Because one thing I know about Tom Coughlin is that Tom Coughlin is a massive, and maybe even the most in the league, more than Bill Belichick, a massive disciplinarian. This is a guy that will, hammer it down your throat if you are not following orders. Okay, Evan, what's the Tom Coughlin rule? It's like if you're 10 minutes, if you're 15 minutes early, or what is it?
The Coughlin time thing. Yeah, if you're like 10 minutes early.
If you're 15 minutes early, you're like 10 minutes late or something like that.
Well, what's interesting is, but that's the thing. A lot of the Giants players in the early years of Coughlin, guys like Strahan, were not a fan of that. Coughlin calmed down a bit in 2007 and kind of leveled up and kind of leveled down a bit in 2007, and then they won the Super Bowl, and they connected more with Coughlin in that year, and like I said, they won the Super Bowl. So, sure, this is who Coughlin is kind of a disciplinarian, but at the same time, he was able to kind of level up a bit to the players, to the Giants, in the year they won the Super Bowl. And I'm looking at it here now. Came Monday afternoon when the Players Association essentially warned players to sign with the Jaguars at their own peril. Jacksonville had gone overboard in assessing fines to players under Coughlin. An arbitrary rule, the NFLPA's favor that excessive fines levied by the Jaguars went against the league's collective bargaining agreement. And I know Jalen Ramsey and Leonard Fournette had reactions on Twitter about it too. So,
yeah. Anyway,
I mean, that's interesting.
On to happier news. So the Saints, Michael Thomas, I got this story for you.
Ooh.
He may be one of the best receivers in the NFL, but did you know he's one of the best gift givers? He gave his entire team Michael Jordan 2s. Or 11s.
Really?
Is it 2 or 11? I don't know. 11s, yeah.
Oh, he gave his entire team retro 11s?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I want to play for the Saints.
How much are those? Like $300 a pop or something?
It depends on which color.
Yeah.
It depends on the color. Like, if you get... Like, Jordan's retail for about $180, $190, right?
$287.
That's retail.
Okay, I'm looking at a couple of prices. $287, $295.
Yeah, but for what color?
I don't know. That they didn't say.
But that's so like you can get. See, I'm a shoe maven.
I know, that's why I got the story for you.
You can get Concord 11s, which are like the white ones with the black toe. Those are the ones that are really popular. You can get Concord 11s.
So Thomas gave him the ones with the black and the red.
Oh, so breads.
So yeah, that's like $287
plus tax and shipping.
Oh wow. Oh man, I want to play for the Saints. Yeah,
nice.
Give me some bread 11s.
Yeah,
I'm in. Listen, I play for a great team here at Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Where are my shoes?
Yeah, Arrow.
Where are my shoes?
Mike
Arrow
needs a pair of
Marks,
shoes.
where are my shoes?
What size are you?
12. Where are my shoes?
I'm a 7.5.
I want my Jordans. Give me Jordans or give me Yeezys. I'll take either one.
You might get coal in your stocking. I don't know.
No, I'm not getting coal in my stocking. That is mean. I told you that your Christmas cookie was delicious. I'm not getting coal. Seriously, where are my sneakers? I'm waiting. I will not continue the show. I am demanding sneakers.
We've got a diva here. I'm used to handling celebrity personalities, so let me take it down a notch for you, all right? They're coming. They'll be here in about 35 minutes. Let's keep this
Is that what
going.
you tell celebrities? Even when it's not coming, it'll be here in about 35
It's
minutes.
tied up in traffic. You know how things go.
Where's my pizza?
It's on its way.
It's on its way.
They
Don't
made
worry.
a fresh pie just for you.
That's right. Yes. So is that what you do to control celebrities? You lie to them? Like you're lying to me right now?
Keep it along.
Monica, Ray, damn it.
It's called stalling.
Thank you, Evan.
Stalling.
Yes.
You gotta
but
stall.
You're not stalling if something's not coming.
Well, I'm trying to figure that out in the back end.
Where am I standing? Yeah, by the way, don't I get a Christmas bonus?
Errol, can you call me or text me?
Jeez. I want my shoes. That's the news. With our our actual Big J journalist, Monica Ray, here on a Thursday. Boy, oh boy. I'm demanding my Jordans. Seriously, where are my Jordans, Evan? But honestly, where are our Jordans? The amount of work that we put in, Evan, the least we're worth is a pair of Jordans.
I want 2 pairs.
Yeah, give me 2 pairs of Jordans. And I don't want the regular Jordans. I want retros. I want OGs. Okay, go on StockX, go on goat.com or whatever, and get me some heat. I need that far.
The retros are pretty nice. I'm look at the retros right now. They're pretty nice.
Which retros?
Retro 4 SE.
Oh.
That's like $200. Actually, they're $200. They're actually not like.
You know, I have never known
bad.
any men that like sneakers as much as you.
It's very rare. It's very rare. I think I might buy some today. Buy
we
some
got the
today.
itch now.
There's some new Yeezys that came out.
Did you get Paula
I
her
want 'em.
Christmas present yet?
I did.
Okay, good.
I did. Should I say it on the air?
No,
Nope.
you shouldn't.
No, I'm going to tell you off there, though.
Yeah.
I'll
okay.
turn you.
I wanna know.
I'll turn your mic off if you do.
All right. Coming up next,
No spoilers.
winners and losers
spoilers.
of Week 15. I got 5 of each plus Barrington Grand around the corner. That's coming up hour number 2. It's the Haystack and the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Worldwide Sports Radio presents the Haystack Show. With Mike Guido.
Hour number 2, here we go. It's the Haystack and the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Worldwide Sports Radio.com. Mike Guido, Evan Mazza, my producer, Monica Ray, Big J journalist. Good to have you in here on a Thursday. So I do this every single Thursday, every single Wednesday, but today's Thursday, so I'm doing it anyway. Winners and losers of Week 15 in the NFL. There are 5 of both. Here we go.
Wow.
I promise this is NFL Phil's music. Okay, it's gonna pick up. All right, don't look at me like that.
This is, what are we doing?
This is NFL Films music.
All right.
Just wait for it.
Jesus.
It's like Oscar music.
Always so. Mike just does not like my music picks, man.
Sometimes they're just like, I used to do the same thing with Speedy too on Homestretch, because he would sometimes do pick music. He would throw music out there, and it would be NFL music. He swore by it, but it would sound like it was from the Revolutionary War. Like it was, dun 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 dun. Like I'm like, come on, we're not marching onto the beaches of Normandy. We're talking NFL. All right, first winner. Monica, you ready? The Dallas Cowboys are a winner this week. Oh, my God, they're a winner. Woo-hoo. Oh, great. No, Dallas Cowboys, the reason being is because they kept their division hopes alive. They did. This was a huge win against the Rams. They can still go into the playoffs. This was a big win for them. They needed this, and they found a formula. This is something that works. When they run the football incredibly well, they win football games. So the Cowboys, they're winners this week, dismantling the Rams at home. This was a win that you needed. You needed a win against a winning team. This was big here. Dallas Cowboys, my first win.
Yay. Thanks, Evan.
My first loser. Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans. Bad loss. Really bad loss. You were at home. You could have taken control of the division, could have taken control of the AFC South, but you did not. Okay, this was a win that you really needed to have. Deshaun Watson, you had the Houston Texans on their heels, and you didn't come through. Now, listen, Ryan Tannehill's still 6-2 as a starter. He's still been fantastic, but right now the Titans are in danger of missing the playoffs. I'm not sure they will, but they sit at 8-6 today in second place. I think they lose control of the division right now. They still get the Texans one more time, but this time it'll be in Houston. Right now, Tennessee is my first loser. My second winner. How about those Houston Texans? This was a big one for them. Listen, they take control of the AFC South. Like I said, Deshaun Watson gets off the schneid. They're 9-5 right now. They get the Titans again, and it's at home. It's very possible they sweep the Titans and still maintain control of the division. This is absolutely a huge win for them. And again, the injuries they have on defense and the scarcity that they have as far as injuries are concerned, it doesn't look like it's affecting them too much. They're still 9-5. Houston's still a really good football team. The Houston Texans, they're my second winner right now. They're playing really good football.
That was so delayed.
All right. Hate to break it to them, but my second loser, Baker Mayfield. Terrible. I really, this was a bad loss for him. Okay, here's why this is a bad loss for him. The Cleveland Browns are a loser this week too, but a big loss for Baker Mayfield because he played against Kyler Murray, former Oklahoma quarterback, also Heisman Trophy winner, also number 1 pick, also played for Lincoln Riley. Baker Mayfield has more wide receivers, a better running game, and a better defense, and got blown out of his own building. Got blown out of the building against Kyler Murray, who, granted, might be more talented than Baker, but has way less to work with. This is a bad look for Baker Mayfield, a really embarrassing look for Baker Mayfield, really embarrassing look for Freddie Kitchens. Same for the Cleveland Browns. Baker's a big loser today. My third winner, the Minnesota. How about that new man on the Minnesota Vikings, Evan? No. So,
I like the song, but you
do?
I listen to the song. Listening to the song on the radio, it's like, okay, it's fine. But you singing it? No.
Anyway, Minnesota Vikings, big winners this week. They're keeping their chances alive for winning the division, blowing out the Chargers, absolutely taking control of them. And this is how good the Vikings can be. Their defense is really that good. They can score that many points. They showed off their depth. They didn't need Dalvin Cook. They were able to run the ball with a bunch of different guys. Kirk Cousins, Minnesota Vikings, they're winners today. Huge win for them. Third loser, the San Francisco 49ers. This was a bad one. Last-second loss, 2 controversial calls, but at the end of the game, you lose to the Atlanta Falcons in Santa Clara. Not a good loss. Not a good loss. But listen, hey, the Saints have a loss that is similar to that. You have a loss that is now like that. But quietly, what we've seen out of the 49ers, the 49ers have lost to the 2 out of the last 3 pretty quietly. They fall down to the 5th seed in the NFC playoff bracket. They are now in 2nd place in their own division. No, regardless of how you see them, they're 11-3, and they might be a playoff team going forward. A wild card team going forward. San Francisco, really unfortunate, but they're losers today. And with that being said, my fourth winner is the Seattle Seahawks. This was a big one. Now you have now you're in line for the number 1 seed in the NFC. You took control of the NFC West. It's now in your hands. Russell Wilson, arguably the MVP of the league. Listen, they're winning games without a lot of talent, and Russell Wilson is playing unbelievable. You can easily make the case for him for MVP based on what he's doing with what he has. But right now, Seattle's impressive. Big win this week over Carolina. You take control of the division with 2 weeks left. They could end up with home field advantage throughout the NFC. That would be huge for the Seahawks. They have a great home field advantage at CenturyLink. The huge winner this week, the Seattle Seahawks. They're my fourth winner. There we go.
I'll clap for you.
My fourth loser. the Oakland Raiders. Final game in Oakland,
Yeah.
and you fall apart. This was a game that you couldn't lose. This was a really bad game. Losing to Jacksonville, you've got only 2 more road games left on your schedule, the Chargers and Denver. I mean, this was a game that you really didn't want to lose. Your final home game in Oakland, you wanted to go out with a bang. Listen, regardless of whether you were going to make the playoffs or not, you really didn't want to lose this game. So I look at this, and I think, listen, it's amazing based on what we've seen from them, how they've fallen off. They've lost their last 4 games. It's been a bad stretch for the Raiders. I thought they were a playoff team. Clearly right now they're not. They're eliminating themselves from the playoffs. Oakland Raiders are a loser this week. And quite possibly the biggest winner, my 5th and final winner, is Drew Brees. Listen, you broke the record for the most perfect game, right? 29 of 30. You have a 76% completion percentage, which is absolutely unheard of. You broke the passing touchdowns record. Drew Brees right now proving his greatness to everybody, showing you what kind of quarterbacks succeed in this league, accurate, precise throwers of the football. He is just unbelievable. Drew Brees, one of the best quarterbacks of all time. I mean, he's been phenomenal. And what a week for him. And I think he might hold on to those records. I really do. I think he might hold on to them. Drew Brees is my 5th and final winner. And my 5th and final loser is the Los Angeles Rams. A bad loss to the Cowboys this week. I think it pretty much eliminates their playoff chances. Whatever slight chances they had, they needed this win against Dallas on the road. I think they were in position to get this win against Dallas. They were playing better football. Dallas was coming off some really bad losses. They were on a really bad stretch. It seemed like the Rams were getting hot at the right time. They blew out the Cardinals in Arizona. They dismantled Seattle and Los Angeles. It looked like they were going to come out on top from something. Now it looks like their playoff chances are over. They go into San Francisco next week, and then they're back home against Arizona. Not sure what chances they have in the playoffs anymore. The LA Rams are my 5th and final loser. All right, so there we go. So just to recap for you, my winners are the Dallas Cowboys, the Houston Texans, the Minnesota Vikings, the Seattle Seahawks, and Drew Brees. 5 losers are Tennessee Titans, Baker Mayfield, the San Francisco 49ers, the Oakland Raiders, and the LA Rams. So there we go.
There's that.
All right, coming up next, Barrington Grant, U.S. Sports Pages. It's the most well-rounded conversation in sports media. If you're a fan of anything, Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NFL, college, the draft, all of that stuff, whatever you're into, we've got a conversation for it, and Barrington Grant fills that need. We'll talk with Barry. That's next, coming up on the Haystack and the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. You're listening to the Haystack Show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Good to have you back. Haystack, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Mike, Evan, Monica here on a Thursday. We are absolutely loaded today. Want to bring on somebody who I really enjoy talking to, one of my good buddies, Barrington Grant, U.S. Sports Pages, the most well-rounded sports conversation in sports media today. That's what I like to call it, because truthfully, if you're a fan of anything, we'll be able to touch on all of those things. So, Barry, I didn't ask you this when I saw you yesterday, but I'm thinking about buying Yeezys today, and I need your advice. I'm thinking about should I buy the Cloud Whites or should I buy the Yeez Real? What do you think?
Yeez Real.
Barry, do we have you?
Oh, no.
Caller, are you there? I always wanted to say that.
Do we? I hear a buzzing, but I don't hear Barry.
Don't think we have any feed.
All right, if we don't have any feed, we'll try to get him back. All right, in the meantime, let's go to the news with our Big J journalist Monica Ray here on a Thursday.
Friday Junior. All right, so last week we collected all the toys for Gary Brown. So
Yes.
Project Toy. I went to meet him yesterday, and we were at the Family Service League in Brentwood, and they took all the toys that they've gathered all across Long Island, and they set it up like a shopping mall. And the residents that live over there came down with their list, and they each got to pick out 2 toys. They went to the stocking stuffer area, and then there was a gift wrapping area. So,
Oh, excellent.
you guys were a part of making a lot of people very happy and giving a lot of people.
Well, that's great. Honestly, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that this is turning out well.
Yeah, so
It really is.
It's a great organization over there.
I'm glad we were able to have an impact. This was really great. We had a great turnout for the toy drive. I mean, this was fantastic.
Yeah, it was
Absolutely
nice.
fantastic. I mean, those boxes were toppling over.
They were, and
with the amount of toys that were in there.
They had a room probably about half the size of the cafe here, just loaded. It was like a shopping mall. They had boys' toys, girls, kids, toddlers, teens. It was really nice, and everybody that came in was very thankful. So you guys did good work. So good job.
Yeah, it was great. It was great having Gary Brown here.
Yeah,
Absolutely fantastic.
he's a great guy. So Odell Beckham is kind of putting a squash to rumors that he's not going to be staying with the Browns. He said, "I am staying here." Actually, he was quoted, "I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here. We've got to figure this out." So he said, "I bought a house. I'm not moving."
Now,
so
this may be like, sports media guy diving into things. He's only going a little too deep. All right, I am dissecting that phrase. Odell says, we've got to make this thing work.
All right.
So when everybody was saying, but Odell doesn't have a choice but to make this entire thing work. He's got to be happy in Cleveland. Like, he's got to find a way to make it work. Maybe we were right. Maybe we were diving in at the exact right length, and we were saying, listen, Odell's got to make this thing work. And Odell hears that, and he's like, I've got to make this thing work. Maybe Odell wanted to get out, but he's rephrasing himself, and he's saying, you know what? I've got to do this.
Yeah.
I think we hit the nail right on the tuchus.
Did you hear the reports of during the Arizona game that some of the players were yelling towards the Arizona sideline, "Take me, take me, take me," like they wanted to be taken by the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh yeah, well they were saying, "Come get me."
Come get
right?
me. That's it.
Come get me.
Come get me. So, but it looks like Odell
I don't know.
Beckham
It seems
is,
like they say that to everybody they play, though. So I don't know how much merit there is to
that's
that.
kind of sad. You're
I
playing
don't
for a
think
team and you're going by another team going, "Come get me, come get me."
Well, the thing is that I don't think that I don't really think that they actually mean like come get me from the Browns to play for you. I think they're saying come get me. Come get like competitively they're saying come get me, man.
I don't know.
That's what I think that they're trying to shoot for. It's more of like a competitive thing, right?
Yeah.
More trash talk than it is.
You think so?
I
don't know,
do, because
they said they were
they
kind
say
of
it to-
shouting it towards the coaches.
They say it to everybody they play. Come get me. Come
Really?
get me.
Okay.
Come get me. I don't know. I mean, it was a report last week that they did that.
Yeah.
And the report, a report the week before that they did that. I mean, it's just like I don't know. I don't buy it.
All right.
And like I said, I don't think there's a choice. I don't think the Browns are trading Odell. I don't think the Browns are trading Jarvis Landry. They're going to have to make it work with those guys. They have to. They don't have a choice.
All right, and I know you guys had 2 yummy cookies. What's your favorite kind of Christmas cookie?
Oh, boy.
I love sugar. I'll say this, though. Snickerdoodles.
Snickerdoodles.
Snickerdoodles are incredibly good.
They are good. What about you, Evan?
Sugar cookies or the rainbow sprinkles or M&M cookie kind of things. Those are really good. Most of those sugar cookies.
Mostly sugar.
I used to love the M&M cookies. I used to, when I was a kid, I would buy them all the time from Stop and Shop, BJ's, whatever, ShopRite, and I just go nuts on them. I love them.
He would go to town.
Oh, I love those cookies. I stopped eventually, but when I was a kid, I love those cookies.
You got help.
Now I just eat it. Now I'm not really a cookie person now anymore, but I'll have sugar cookies whenever I get the chance. Whenever.
So I looked up the world's largest gingerbread man.
Oh.
Do you guys like gingerbread man cookies?
Yeah, I like gingerbread.
So do you eat the head
like
first,
gingerbread.
the arms, or the legs?
I usually.
Gumdrop button. No.
You can't think about a gingerbread man and not think about that, right? That's so great.
That used to be a joke in high school for me. That actually hit me pretty hard. That was good. Not the gumdrop buttons. I think I would have to say head first. I think I used to go head, legs, arms, middle piece.
Body. How about you, Evan?
I think I went for the head.
Yeah.
I think I'd eat the head first.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. So, any guesses on the size, the weight of the world's largest gingerbread cookie, which, by the way, was made in Norway by IKEA. You know the IKEA store here? Where you get a cart and the wheels go in every single direction except for the direction you want them to go? Mm-hmm. And you feel like a spaz going down the aisle?
Yeah.
IKEA. So
listen, I love IKEA.
It's great.
I could go to IKEA and hang out there all the time.
Because you get lost, that's why.
Well,
if you follow the arrows, you go nowhere.
You know what the best part about IKEA is? The best part about IKEA is not even the furniture. Like, it's not even like the rooms and stuff like that. You go downstairs by the cash registers. They have a cafeteria there.
Right.
In those sliding freezers, they have bags of real Swedish meatballs. And they are the greatest meatballs of all time. They are so good. If you are into meatballs, go to IKEA and get those bags of Swedish meatballs. They're like white it's like a white and blue bag, and it's got meatballs on the front of it. Oh, so good. Spaghetti, Swedish meatballs, whether you're just having them as whatever it is.
Does spaghetti go with Swedish meatballs?
Yes. Yes.
With what kind of sauce?
Pasta sauce.
Really? And Swedish meatballs?
Yeah. Just all the Swedish means is that they're little.
You said balls. I mean,
all right, seriously, we didn't need to turn this into a balls thing.
Are they sweaty balls?
I think it's hard for Monica not to make balls jokes. God, you said balls. Ha ha.
Anyway,
Nelson over here.
You know, we literally, this is a sports show. We talk about nothing but balls.
Nelson over here.
Seriously. Not the gumdrop buttons. No.
All right, so how much? All right, gingerbread cookie.
Gingerbread
how much?
cookie. How much does it weigh? What do you think?
How much does it weigh?
Yeah.
2,000.
All right.
It's got to be a big one.
10,000 pounds. No,
last time you were almost right, so.
All right, largest gingerbread man.
Right.
How much it weighs?
Right.
250 pounds.
Who's the closest?
1,435 pounds.
Oh, I was the
So I
closest.
wonder what
That's
the
a heavy
head
ass
weighs
cookie.
on that, you know? If you're
That's a
eating the
heavy
head on
cookie.
that cookie, that's probably about
I'm going to need a fork and a knife.
400 pounds.
I'm going to need a fork and a knife.
Yeah, like George Costanza, right?
Hold that, Costanza. Get that calzone, Costanza.
So, there you have it.
All right. That's the news. Big J journalist Monica Ray. All right, hour number 3 coming up next. Haystack, Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. You're listening to the Haystack Show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's good to have you back. Haystack Worldwide Sports Radio Network, hour number 3. Mike Guido, Evan Mazza, my producer, Monica Ray, Big J journalist. It's good to have you in. All right, let's give this another try. We're trying another method, so stick with us a little bit.
Barry, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
We do. Oh, my God, it works. Holy crow. I'm actually in shock.
But we still have the feed in the back.
We do still have that buzzy feed, but I think we can work past that. All right, so this is my good buddy, Barrington Grant from U.S. Sports Pages, and I was going to ask you first, Barry, because, I think, and I forgot to tell you this yesterday, I think I'm going to buy Yeezys today, right?
Oh, you wore your Yeezys today?
No, I think I'm going to buy some.
Oh, okay.
So, and I was thinking, I'm between two colorways, and I need you to tell me which one. So, do I get the Yeez Reals, which are like the neon greenish ones that just came out, or do I want to get the cloud white? They're both the non-reflective, so I'm not spending $500 on shoes.
Yeah, get the neon green ones because
Thank
they
you.
just stand out with you. I like those.
All right,
do too.
all right. See, so that's right now. I think that's 2 against 1. Right now for the neon
But that
green
one
ones.
is an important one.
Well, yeah, my fiance hates that color. It drives me nuts.
Neon green? I don't know. You ever seen the Seahawks neon green jerseys? They're like, ugh.
You know,
They're pretty
Evan.
awful.
Evan, you're not helping. But all right, Barry. Here's my thing. So this is what I found interesting. I found this on Twitter, and I actually think this is one of the positives about Twitter is how creative it can get because whatever current events are going on or what time of year it is, people come up with really creative things. It's a positive thing among many negative things. But it was a question posed about how if you could pick 3 NFL players that you would draft to be on your team for a snowball fight, who would you pick? And I found something really interesting because most people went for the uber athletes, right? Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. You know, they went for those types of guys. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. They went for the guys that not only can throw it with the arm strength, but they can move a little bit. And I think that's the way the league is moving. I think that teams are evaluating their quarterbacks that way. I mean, is it fair for me to say that picking your guys for a snowball fight and evaluating your quarterbacks at this point in where the league is actually pretty similar? What say you?
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. I think the NFL is moving towards more mobile quarterbacks. I mean, the pocket quarterback is great, but if he can't move around and kind of evade trouble, then you're kind of stuck. So now you're looking for that dual threat, and college has been doing this for years now, right? So I think the NFL is just trying to kind of follow suit now. And you're going to start seeing more teams draft dual threat quarterbacks because that's just the way the game is going. It's more athletic. It's faster. You need to be more creative. And if you have a dual threat, you can be more creative with your play calling.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying this before, too, quarterback is now turning into the position where former running backs that – crazy athletes, but they realize they can't make any money being a running back, so they switch and play quarterback. That's what it's turning into now. It's no longer the, doofy, slow white dudes that used to be baseball players. Like that's
right.
That really isn't what the league is anymore. Tom Brady was a left-handed hitting catcher, and now he plays football. So it's just, I think the league is moving away from that. But let's get into this as well. So we look at the Cowboy game against the Eagles, and you and I were talking about this yesterday. You brought up the point to me that there are no excuses anymore. Dallas does not have any excuses. I think it would be borderline embarrassing, given Philadelphia's injuries and all of that stuff, if Dallas were to lose this football game. What do you think the outlook of this game is? How do you view this football game right now?
This is do or die for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, this is what you call a tailor-made game for them to win, right? But what is always the case with the Dallas Cowboys is things when they're tailor-made for them to win, they tend to not rise to the occasion. Yeah. Now you have Dak Prescott who's battling a bevy of injuries, and people are saying that he may not play. I think he will play. I think they're gonna numb up the area, let him take a shot at it. But it's a do or die game. They're gonna have some trouble in regards to throwing the ball, but I think that the philosophy should be running the football anyway. But Philadelphia has a good pass rush. They're susceptible against the pass. So it's tailor-made, yes, but Dallas always tends to let you down when you expect them to win.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I do not think that it is a gimme game for the Cowboys, and it really should be because the talent is overwhelmingly on the Cowboys side, but the coaching is overwhelmingly on Philadelphia's side, so that really is the separating factor. Let's get into this as well. So on Saturday, we get the Bills going into New England and playing the Patriots, right? I really do believe that the Bills are going to go into Foxborough. And they're going to win this football game. I really do. I think defensively right now, they're a better football team. I think right now they're producing more. They're producing better offensively. I could make the argument today that Buffalo is better than New England is right now. How do you view this? Is there a legitimate shot that Buffalo goes into New England and beats the Patriots today?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that Buffalo, they have a great chance of going up there to Foxborough and winning that game. That defense is going to be able to get to Tom Brady, and history shows that when you can get to Brady, he becomes an average quarterback. That the fact that he's been an average quarterback this season as he's regressed, if they can get to him, he's going to really, really struggle. And it's gonna end up being an ugly game, and Buffalo likes to win ugly games. Mm-hmm. That's how they want to win. They want to pound it. They want to ground you into submission, and make a couple plays and come out with a victory. So I do believe that Buffalo has a great chance of winning that game, shutting down their skill position players of the Patriots, the very few that they have. I don't believe that the running attack for the Patriots is going to be effective, and Tom Brady's going to have to make plays, and with that secondary that Buffalo has, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I agree. So let's move to the NBA really quick, because I think tonight's lineup, right, nationally televised right now, TNT's got 2 games on tonight, and I think it's probably I can't remember maybe a better back-to-back in recent NBA history as far as nationally televised games. Lakers and Bucks tonight. And then on top of that, it is Rockets and Clippers. I think it's going to be 2 incredibly good games. But let's touch on the Lakers-Bucks game first. I think I like the Lakers a little bit on the road here. Are you viewing this game as whoever wins this game is separating themselves as the best team in the NBA? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would say that this is what you call a measuring stick game in regards to, like, if Milwaukee wins this game, they can honestly say to themselves, okay, we played the best team in the West, we took it to them, and we now feel that we are the best team in the NBA because they already took it to the Clippers. So, the Clippers are I don't think that the Clippers can hold up with the Bucks. I think this is the only team that is constructed top to bottom, how that roster is, with the rim protection, with the shooting, with the perimeter defense. They're pretty much mirror images of each other.
Right.
So they can be able to say to themselves, okay, if we beat the Lakers here, this can give us some type of confidence going into June. Because if we face them in June, then we know that we can be able to beat them in a 7-game series.
Now, here's the way I look at this, Barry. I want you to kind of give me an idea of whether I'm right on this or not. I think as far as roster construction is taken into account, I actually think Milwaukee at this point has the best roster construction in the NBA. They've got their uber-athletic, crazy superstar, and then they surrounded him with rim protectors and shooters. Okay, everybody on Milwaukee can shoot, and they're reliable. Okay, when I think about the Lakers, It's their two stars with LeBron and Anthony Davis, and then a bunch of veteran guys that play a lot of different roles. Okay, if I were to tell you that only one of these teams was going to be able to make a deep playoff run, based on how they're built, who do you like a little bit more? Again, based on how they're built, how much faith you have in them going forward.
I would say Milwaukee.
You would say Milwaukee over the Lakers.
I would say Milwaukee because there's a couple factors. One is that they have better shooting. They don't have better rim protection, but they do have better shooting. And when you have the Greek Freak, there's not much that you're asking your other guys to do, but just 3-and-D and just hold the fort down. They also play in the Eastern Conference. Now the Eastern Conference is much improved, absolutely. But it's not the Western Conference where you really have more challenges that they have to face. I think Milwaukee's going to steamroll to the NBA Finals this year. I just think that they're motivated. I think that Budenholzer made some mistakes in the playoffs last year, and I think that he's going to clean that up. And they're going to steamroll through the Eastern Conference. I do think that the Lakers will get there as well. But I just think that roster construction, I think Milwaukee is just slightly better. You have to give somebody the edge, right? So I would give Milwaukee the edge, but a slight edge.
So as far as – let's get into this too, because I think this is very interesting. There were some shots taken between the Clippers and the Lakers, right? So LeBron kind of takes a little jab at the Clippers, saying, listen, if I'm healthy, I'm going to play. No games off. And you could tell he was kind of taking maybe a little bit of a stab at Kawhi in load management. The Clippers then respond, Doc Rivers, I think the Lakers plan is kind of whatever LeBron wants it to be. What do you make of that whole situation? Because I think this is very backwards. People are saying, oh, yeah, well, LeBron controls everything. If I'm not mistaken, I would say the Clippers are catering to Kawhi more than any team in sports is catering to a single player. What say you?
What's funny about that, Mike, is that Doc Rivers really made me laugh when I heard that because it's like, isn't the pot calling the kettle black? You're talking about LeBron. The Lakers are going as LeBron goes, but they recently just changed their philosophy in Clipperland to say that, this is our philosophy now. Now you are adapting load management. Doc Rivers has never been a load management guy. He's never been a load management coach. He's had guys like Chris Paul. He's had guys like Blake Griffin who had injury concerns their entire careers, but he's never load managed them when they were in Clipperland. So all of a sudden, now he has Kawhi Leonard. Now this is their philosophy. So I agree with you. I would say that the Clippers are catering more to their star than the Lakers are with LeBron James. LeBron James is actually saying that he wants to play. He doesn't want to take any games off. Kawhi Leonard is telling you that he's going to take games off and there's nothing you can do about it, whether he's healthy or not. So I would say that the Clippers are more bent over knee than anybody else in the NBA.
I agree. Now, as far as that's concerned, do you think that hurts them down the line? This is I'm going to kind of go back-to-back question here. Like, who would you say would be hurt more by their current situation? So LeBron is pushing really hard right now, playing really aggressive, a lot of effort, full-fledged. LeBron James, playing like LeBron really early in the season. And there are a lot of people saying that he could tire out at the end of the year because his body, his age, he's getting older. His body is starting to naturally break down. But the Clippers, on the same side of the token, Kawhi's taken a lot of games off, and it does seem like he's a little bit inconsistent to start the year. He's not as efficient as he used to be. It seems like he's still trying to get the rust off. We're 30 games into the year, Barry, and I think that could affect Kawhi down the line. Which scenario do you think is going to be more true and more impactful down the line?
I think the Clippers situation is kind of more concerning because the more games that Kawhi Leonard misses is, those are more games that they don't have together to build that chemistry, to gel, to gain some type of traction in the Western Conference. LeBron James, on the other hand, is going to play, and if the Lakers clinch early, which I do believe they're going to do, then you're going to start seeing maybe him take off the last 5 or 6 games of the season. That's normal. That's what people normally do. Once you clinch, the last couple games of the season, you take off and you kind of rest and you gear up for the playoffs. I think that's the type of rest that LeBron will do. And on the other hand, if he does say start to slow down, they have Anthony Davis there that they can lean on. So they have that type of camaraderie. The chemistry's there. Everything is good in Lakerland right now because they've established this bond, these games that are played in the trenches together early. Clippers don't have that. They're still trying to put it together. And the more games that Kawhi misses, it's just going to make things more difficult because, if you don't realize this, Paul George is going to pass Kawhi Leonard in games played already. This is how funny it is in Clipperland. Like, he missed a month, and he's about to pass him in games played. So it's very concerning of what they're doing over there in Clipperland. Hey, if it works, then kudos to them. But I just don't see this working as good as they think it's going to work because this is the Western Conference. You lose ground, you're gonna get a very, very unfavorable matchup, and that's not good for them. Talking
to Barrington Grant, U.S. Sports Pages, good buddy of mine, most well-rounded sports conversation in sports media today. All right, so Barry, I like to do this with a lot of my guests, and I think you're going to enjoy this too. I like to play a game called True or False, right? So what it is I'll give you a situation. You give me the one-word answer, whether it's true or whether it is false. All right, so here we go. The Dallas Cowboys will beat the Eagles this week and win the division. True or false?
True.
All right. The Buffalo Bills will beat the New England Patriots on Saturday and have a tie for the division. True or false?
True.
All right, look at this. Now we're going here. The Minnesota Vikings play the Packers on Monday night. The Vikings will beat the Packers in that game and therefore win the division.
False.
False. On the game or the division? Both?
I think both.
Wow. All right, so tonight, Lakers and Bucks. The Bucks will win tonight against the Lakers in Milwaukee.
False.
Wow. The Clippers will not only beat the Rockets, but they will dismantle the Rockets in Los Angeles.
I'm going to say true.
Wow. All right, so now we're getting places. The Yankees will win the World Series next year.
I'm going to say 100% true.
There you go. That's my guy. All right, Barrington Grant, U.S. Sports Pages. Barry, I appreciate the time, man. I think I'm going to see you either on Saturday or Sunday. Definitely Sunday, but sometime this weekend, I'll see you.
I think you're going to see me Saturday and Sunday, so you may get tired of my face, but that's all right. I'm tired of yours anyway.
Yeah, that's all good. That's why we do radio. We don't have to see each other. We just talk to each other.
Exactly.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. I'll talk to you.
All right, Barrington Graham, one of the better guys in the business. He's absolutely phenomenal. All right, coming up next, buy or sell. We do this every single Thursday. It is Evan's favorite game of all time. You love buy or sell.
Ever.
You love buy or sell.
Ever.
Buy or sell or your favorite video game as a kid?
I'm buy or sell my favorite video game as a kid.
No. Do you like buy or sell or your favorite video game as a kid? Which one do you like more?
I can't go against my favorite video game as a kid. Come on, I can't.
I'm hurt.
I can't go against my childhood memories, Mike.
I'm hurt.
I can't go against that.
I'm hurt.
Can you go against your childhood memories? I don't think you can.
Yes, I can. I can go against all of my childhood memories. I'm kidding. I totally can. All right, more Haystack next.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. You're listening to the Haystack Show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Good to have you back, Haystack, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Mike, Evan, here on a Thursday. Monica had to cut out early, so we miss her. We miss her.
Thank you for the cookies, Monica. Those were delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Those are delicious.
I am a cookie maven. So
she is the best.
I love cookies. I'm using her for her cookies.
Cookies. She got cookies. Oh, and got a Sam Jones. Sam Jones will be coming on soon, and I cannot wait.
That's going to be great.
I can't wait.
That's going to be great. All right. Buy or sell. We do this every single Thursday. So, Evan, here we go.
All right. So, this is it. So, Magic Johnson said the other day that he says he wants more credit for the success of the LA Lakers. He believes he deserves credit for this year's Lakers team. So, buy or sell. Magic Johnson deserves credit for this Lakers team.
He deserves some credit, but not all of it. So, I'm going to say
half buy, half sell.
Yeah, I'll go half buy, half sell. Because
Sell.
I don't think that this is something where I can just pin this like, yeah, I buy that. He's totally responsible. But no, I really don't think that he is. I think that I think a lot of this was Rob Pelinka. I think Rob Pelinka put together a really good roster after Magic left. Magic kind of left a mess over there. So I'm going to say Magic is partially responsible because I think he was part of getting LeBron to Los Angeles, but it's possible that LeBron would have gone there anyway. So I'm actually leaning more towards sell than buy. But I'll give Magic Johnson some credit for where the Lakers are right now.
Here's his full quote: "This team would not be in the position it's in without me. This was my strategy. This is what I thought we'd be in 3 years. I knew we were on the right track. Everybody wanted to do it their way, but I'm good with who I am. I think people respect what I've done for the team." So that's his quote. Okay.
First of all, what would make him want to say that just out of the blue? Like, was he? Where did that come from?
This came from Bill Plaschke of the Los Angeles Times. He still feels he deserves some. Yeah, this came from an interview with Bill Plaschke of the LA Times.
I mean, Bill Plaschke is a very, very well-respected writer, so. I mean, I'm not calling it fake or anything. I'm trying to figure out why why Magic Johnson would just say that. I guess he was asked it by Bill Plaschke, so all right.
Okay, next one. I'm putting you on the spot. Garrett Cole was officially introduced yesterday as a member of the New York Yankees. I'm putting you on the spot. Garrett Cole is the best pitcher in New York. Buy or sell?
Oh, no. God, I know. Whatever I do, I'm going to piss off a lot of people. This is a lose-lose for me. Why would you do this to me?
Because I want to.
It's the holiday season. You're supposed to be nice to me.
Because I want to. And now that he's officially introduced as a Yankee, I'm going to do it once. I'm going to do it once.
Okay. Well, first of all,
you have to say it in your heart. Not as a Yankee fan.
All right, well,
I won't
first
say
of
as a
all,
Met fan, but you have to say it from in your heart.
First of all, let me preface this by saying this. I think that it is really petty and really stupid. And this is why I hate Met fans. This is why Met fans are so stupid.
Here we go.
This is why Met fans suck. Okay? I hate all you darn Met fans. All right, here's the reason why. Okay, here's why.
Yankee fans are the one now saying they got the best pitcher in New York.
Met fans just suck.
Because they bought him for $230.
No, it has
300 whatever million.
It has nothing to do with that. The second that the Yankees signed Garrett Cole, all of them ever was just like, well, he's still not the best pitcher in New York. We have Jacob deGrom. I'm like, who cares? I don't care if you have Jacob deGrom. Like,
you saw MLB Twitter the other day. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. They put up a tweet with a picture of both deGrom and Cole. Who's the ace of New York?
I saw it.
They listen. It's a thing now. This is a thing now.
First of all,
it's going to be a thing for a while.
Is that what Met fans need to hang their hat on? Like, is this what they have to do? You're not winning any baseball games, so as long as you have the best pitcher in New York, you're happy? Like, seriously, just stop.
Back-to-back Cy Youngs.
I don't care about his back-to-back Cy Youngs. Listen,
So,
I'm not telling you that Jacob deGrom's not great.
So buy or sell, Garrett Cole's best pitcher in New York? Come on. I'm putting you on the spot. The only time I put you on the spot with this question.
Listen, this is easily the hardest buy or sell that you've ever given me. But, all right. No, I will sell that. He is not the best pitcher in New York. Jacob deGrom is still at this point better than Garrett Cole, but I think it is by a.
It's close.
It is by an eyelash. Like it is by so little. It is not even funny. Like here's my thing. I think last year, Garrett Cole was better than Jacob deGrom. I will say that. Garrett Cole, and I know Garrett Cole didn't win the Cy Young. I don't care about that. He should have won the Cy Young.
He should have. They both.
Verlander and Cole were both deserving, but I think Garrett Cole deserved it more.
Both Cole and deGrom should have walked away at Cy Young awards, and deGrom obviously did.
Right. But I'm telling you right now, Garrett Cole was better than Jacob deGrom last year. The years prior to that, I'll take deGrom. So as far as overall track record, I will take Jacob deGrom. But it wouldn't surprise me if Garrett Cole is again the better pitcher this year. It is by a minuscule margin, because I think it's possible that Garrett Cole's the best pitcher in baseball. I do. I thought that last year. So I just...
Interesting enough, deGrom had a better ERA, again, just by a couple of points, a 2.43 ERA to Cole's 2.50 ERA.
I know, but I think Cole struck out like...
Yeah, Cole had the most strikeouts. Sure.
He struck out 340 batters or something, which is just absurd. Like, Garrett Cole was unhittable last year.
No, he was.
So, I mean, I will say that it's deGrom, but I think it's deGrom by like a splitting hair.
They're both. I think
it is so close. But
it's close.
Do you see like why that would piss me off? Like, forget the fact that I'm a Yankee fan.
I had to do it.
Forget the fact that I'm a Yankee fan. But seriously, do the Mets, like, as soon as the Yankees signed Garrett Cole, the Yankee fans were not saying, oh my God, this is great. I'm like Yankee fans, all they were doing was celebrating. Oh my God, we got Garrett Cole, we got our ace. Yeah, we're going to win the World Series next year. This is awesome. And Met fans are just like, well, you don't even have the best pitcher in New York.
Because the question all of a sudden got asked.
Give me a break.
Because now the question got asked.
Yeah, but the question got asked by who?
What?
Question got asked by who?
Baseball analysts, baseball networks.
Because it got brought up by Met fans. It got brought up. Like, of course people started asking the question because Met fans were just like, well, Jacob deGrom is still better. I don't care if Jacob deGrom is better. I'm not worried about you. You can keep losing. We are going to keep elevating ourselves to keep winning games. Listen, you go from bad owner to even worse owner, and we'll just stay here with our 27 world championships.
Wait. Hold on a minute. We have no idea. what's going to happen with Steve Cohen. Listen,
did they make a movie about Steve Cohen? Then you told me that. No, there was an episode on Mad Men or something like that about Steve Cohen.
I got a confession. I've never watched Mad Men. I've
never watched Mad Men either, but I thought you told me that.
I don't think I ever did.
Okay.
I don't think I ever did. No, did I? No.
I think you did.
No. No, I did not.
It was
I would have told you if I did.
I don't know.
No way.
I'm telling you.
I don't think I did. No way.
But did that question really need to get brought up in New York?
Because it's going to get brought up all year long, Mike. We are, as a Met fan, as a Yankee fan.
Yeah, but is that what you
have to expect that?
Is that what you have to hang your pride on? You have to bash Yankee fans for saying, well, Garrett Cole isn't even better than Jacob deGrom, so have fun with your second best. I'm like, I'm not even worried about. We didn't say anything about Jacob deGrom. Yankee fans.
Wait a minute. Yes,
don't care about Jacob deGrom.
Yes, you did.
What do we do?
Luis Severino a year ago. Yeah, you did. Luis Severino a year ago. It was
when?
A year ago. Sevy's better than deGrom. Sevy's better than deGrom.
That never happened.
Yes, it did.
No, it did not.
And then deGrom went into your building and beat you with a minor league team playing in front of you.
Well, I mean, listen, that's obvious. deGrom is easily better than Severino. That's not close.
But that was a debate a year ago. Yes, it was. Come on, Mike. We can't not forget about that.
Okay, but were Met fans really taking that seriously?
What?
Like, that was a couple of stupid Yankee fans saying Severino's better. Like, come on. Give me a break. This is actually a real conversation. I will give it credit to that. But as soon as the Yankees signed Garrett Cole, Met fans were just like, oh, Jacob deGrom is better. Shut your hole. I don't care if he's better. Doesn't matter to me if he's better. We got our ace. We don't care about you Met fans. You just listen, you guys just keep losing, keep looking up at us, you little brother, you little sister. Seriously. God almighty. The Subway Series.
All right, well, for the last couple
You're
of
the
years,
less valuable fan base in New York.
For the last couple of, I don't know. I mean, every time the Mets do something bad, I see the Knicks do something worse. I'm like, yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, if you're comparing yourself to the Knicks, that's saying something.
I mean, I'm just
the Mets are better than the Knicks. I'll say that.
I don't think the Mets are.
The Mets are
that's
better
the
than
thing.
the
Like
Knicks.
I always
The
say
Mets
that.
are better.
I always say that the Mets are bad, but
The Mets are better than
the
the Knicks, and they're probably better than both New York football teams.
I mean, really, but.
Especially the Jets, because the Jets are so dysfunctional. Even though the Giants, I will say, the Giants, they're bad this year, but at least the Giants have direction. The Jets, I feel like, are going to...
Well, the Giants...
the Jets, I feel like, have direction. They keep screwing it up somehow. All right, what's next? We're not getting hung up on this for another 10 minutes.
Oh, we will as the next season when it happens and the Subway Series comes along with
it's
DeGrom,
just so
with
ridiculous.
DeGrom versus Cole. Oh, it's coming up again.
Just shut it, Met fans. God almighty. Who cares that
you
we're
are
better than you?
You are so hopped up on Met fans lately.
I
What is
am.
up with you at Met
because
fans?
they're annoying. Oh, my God. Like, Mets-Yankees isn't even a rivalry because we always beat you. Like, just stop.
Well, you didn't beat us last year. We didn't have we were bad last year when the Mets played the Yankees and they split with it, and the Yankees and the Mets split. So.
Oh, yeah. Because...
I mean, if the Yankees
Mets
are so,
were,
if the
Mets
Yankees
were
are
at
so
full
much
strength.
better,
Mets were at full strength. The Yankees had
Mets
15
stunk.
guys on the IL.
Mets stunk. They were like
the Mets won 86 games
at the time when they played the Yankees. They were terrible when they played at the time when they played the Yankees. Come on, Mike. We both know that.
Oh my
God! At the time when they played the Yankees, the Mets were looking to sell their team.
Unbearable.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we're
unbearable. Jesus. All right, what's next?
Mister, we're going to win the World Series
last
couple
as soon
of years.
as Pete Alonso hits his 55th home run, they were just like, oh, he's greater than Aaron Judge. Who cares? Shut it. My God, it doesn't
that'd be fun. That's actually a fun one. Pete Alonso, Aaron
every
Judge.
time the Mets accomplish something, their first reaction is, oh, we're better at this thing than the Yankees. Is that your goal, to be better? You should be better than everybody in the National League because you never are. Seriously. And then when you were better than everybody in the National League, Daniel Murphy let a ground ball go through his legs and you lost the World Series. Give me a break.
Yeah, it was that. Then there was Duda. Then there was Cespedes. Yeah, There was Cespedes in Game 1. Duda, Murphy. Then there was Duda. It was a whole
mess.
Whole parody of errors.
Jeez. All right. Move on.
Chapman, slider.
Hate
bang.
you, Met fans.
Chapman, slider.
Ridiculous.
Bang, home run.
Ridiculous. Stay in the basement.
Chapman, slider, bang, home run. Okay. After that's done.
Chapman slider, bang, home run. He hung that slider really bad. That was a bad one. Altuve
I'm
took
sorry.
that one.
You can't use trash. You can't use trash cans for that. That was whoop boom.
Yeah, but too bad Altuve probably knew it was coming.
I don't think you can play trash cans for that one. It was that was a hanger, and Altuve just.
Oh my God! Pick something else, Evan. I'm begging you to get off this topic.
All right, here we go. We'll save it all for next year when Cole and DeGrom face each other in the Subway Series. Maybe we'll go to that game. You want to go to that game?
Oh my God! Can we go to that game?
Let's go to that game.
Would it be at Yankee Stadium or Citi Field?
Wherever. I don't mind.
If there's Cole DeGrom next year, if we're lucky enough to get that matchup, we're going to that. We're going to that game.
We're going to that game.
We are going to that
Yankee
game.
Stadium, Citi Field. I'll go. I love Citi Field.
Yeah, I just better not hear it. If Garrett Cole gets shelled or something like that,
no, I won't. No. See, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not that kind. I don't brag when my team.
Are you one of those guys that actually sits there and analyzes the game like I do? I'll sit there. Well, boy. You sit there and just be like, "Whoa, he hung that pitch."
I'll watch the game, but I'm not going to go like, I don't do that. Maybe I'll give you a little pat. Maybe I'll give you a little pat on the back and be like,
hey.
Yeah, maybe that. But I'm not going to be like yelling and screaming and bragging. I'm not that kind of fan. Okay. Stephen Gilmore says he believes he's defensive player of the year. So buy or sell. Stephen Gilmore is the defensive player of the year.
Stephon Gilmore. I will buy that right now. Stephon Gilmore has been phenomenal this year. He's been the most locked down corner in football. The only argument that I can make for Stephon Gilmore against Stephon Gilmore as a corner is Tre'Davious White. Tre'Davious White has had a surreal year. TJ Watt's had a great year too. But Stephon Gilmore has had a Revis-type year where he just shut down that side of the field. I think, honestly, Stephon Gilmore has been the one consistent staple on the entire New England Patriots team. I will say that as of right now, Stephon Gilmore is the Defensive Player of the Year.
So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, now they're 7-7 this year, which I think we got to take that as a bit of an accomplishment for them, despite everything that's going on with Jameis Winston and all the touchdowns and the interceptions, all that stuff. So next year, the Buccaneers can be a wild card team next season. Buy or sell?
The Bucs can be a wild card team?
Yes.
Okay, I could buy that. I don't think that it is certain that it will happen. I really don't. But here's my thing about this. I'm kind of optimistic on Tampa Bay. I generally am. I think they have a good coach. They have a lot of offensive weapons. They do have some holes to fill, but I think that they're filling them relatively nicely. I think they drafted some nice corners, and I think I like them. The thing is that their quarterback turns the ball over too much. So I'll buy it. I don't think they're going to be able to do it with Jameis. I think if they have a new quarterback next year, then yes, they will. But I don't know. As of right now, I'll buy it. I'll buy it for now. They can be, yes.
All right, so I brought this up to you during the break. Carson Wentz was actually asked about this game, this Cowboy game coming up with the NFC East on the line. He was asked if this is the biggest game of his career. Wentz said, yeah, you could probably say that. I mean, it's definitely a big game. We know the situation. We know what's going on. At the same time, we're treating it as another game. We're aware of everything. We're real excited for one. I'm real excited that we're at home. I know these fans are going to show up and be loud. I can't wait until Sunday afternoon. So buy or sell, this is the biggest game of Carson Wentz's career up to this point.
Well, I know WIP in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
It came out with the article about this. And I this was like a timeline, right? So WIP came out with the article. This was a big thing, and about how this is the biggest game of Carson Wentz's career, and
to this point, yeah.
And then I know that there was a thing about how Cowherd blasted them yesterday for it. Said it's ridiculous. And listen, I'll say this: I semi-agree with Cowherd, so I'm going to sell that this is the biggest game in his career. I do think it's a big game because it does have playoff implications, but I will say this. I don't think that it's meaningless. I agree with Cowherd to the point of, this doesn't mean that Carson Wentz is any less talented. This doesn't mean that the Cowboys are any less poorly coached or anything like that. There are no big, franchise-changing implications in this game. There are not. But I do think it's big. I don't think that this is a nothing game. I don't think this is a nothing game. So I'll say I will sell it that it's the biggest, but I do think it's big.
I mean, I think the point is, the understanding is the fact that the last 2 years, again, Carson's been out with injury, and Nick Foles, of course, was the quarterback of two playoff teams. One of them won a Super Bowl. Carson obviously, in his rookie year didn't make the playoffs and obviously didn't play the last 2 years. So Carson, I could see to this point of his career, yeah, it's the biggest game of his career, I think, because again, he hasn't played in a playoff game to this point because again, unfortunately he's been hurt. I do agree to this at this stage of his career. Obviously, if they make the playoffs and go on to the NFC title game and Super Bowl, sure, that's the biggest games of his career. But to this point of his career, yeah, I agree. Dak Prescott has been to the playoffs. He's played in the playoffs. He's won the division a couple of times.
Right.
So I don't look at this game as saying it's certainly a huge game for Dak, a big game for Dak. Absolutely, it's probably a bigger game for Jason Garrett than Dak Prescott. But for Carson Wentz, but for the Eagles, it's kind of the opposite. This is kind of a bigger game for Carson more than Doug Pearson because Pearson has won a Super Bowl. He's won the division. So I think it's certainly an interesting question. So speaking of a big game tonight, Bucks-Lakers, is that NBA Finals preview, buy or sell?
As of right now, I'm going to buy that. I think right now the Lakers are clearly the best team in the West. I think the Bucks right now are clearly the best team in the East. I will say that. I think this could very well easily be a Finals preview. It's in Milwaukee. I think it's going to be a fascinating game. My eyes are going to be glued to the television tonight watching this basketball game. I think I like the Lakers tonight to win it, but I'll tell you what, Milwaukee, like I said, roster construction, Giannis, this is a team that I listen, I'll say this. Everybody says the West is so much better than the East. Milwaukee leads the East right now. The East is much better than it was last year. And Milwaukee, I think, in my opinion, is probably as good as any team in the West. Seriously. Like, the Lakers, I think, are the best team in the NBA. But Milwaukee's right up there with them. I don't think that there's a better team in the West other than the Lakers than Milwaukee. Milwaukee's loaded. The Bucks are so good.
Let's actually go to this one. This by yourself. The Eastern Conference in the NBA has finally caught up, has finally evened the playing field with the Western Conference. By yourself.
Yeah, I buy that. I really do.
Buy.
Like, I was talking about this with Ray the other day. Like, I can make the argument that the Eastern Conference this year has actually been deeper than the West. Okay, I get teams like, so I get Milwaukee, I get Indiana, I get Miami, I get Philly, I get Boston, I get Toronto, I get Brooklyn. Like, I get all of those teams in the Eastern Conference. In the West right now, it is the Lakers, Clippers, Houston, Dallas, Utah, and Denver. And then everybody else is kind of Portland and Sacramento and Minnesota and Oklahoma City. And like all of those teams are very They're nothing special. So, yeah, I think right now I can make the case that the East is definitely deeper.
Next one. Last time Browns put up 40 points on Baltimore in Baltimore and won 40-25. This time the Ravens go to Baltimore, buy or sell, they will put up 40 against the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland.
Sell. Look, I think the Ravens
Sell.
I think the Ravens win this game and they win it handsomely. I don't think they put up 40. I think the Ravens are going to get up early. They're going to get up really early. I think it could be 20-0 at the end of the half. I really think it's going to be like an over 2-touchdown win, but I think once it gets late in the game, they might pull Lamar Jackson early, and their offense is going to slow down a little bit. I don't think they put up 40. That's a lot to ask for, but I'm going to buy the fact that they absolutely crush the Browns this weekend. Crush them in Cleveland.
Yeah, it's getting ugly, Cleveland. I mean, you know the Ravens have that game still in the back of their head. That was obviously the last game that they lost before this 10-game winning streak. They're going to be looking for some serious retribution. If the Vikings defeat the Packers on Sunday, another Monday night, another big game this week, we can officially label them as Super Bowl contenders.
If who does?
The Vikings beat the Packers on Monday night. Because there are still some questions about the legitimacy of the Vikings and everything like that. If they beat the Packers on Sunday.
Bye. I think, well, first of all, I think you could probably already call them Super Bowl contenders. I think they're a top 5 team in the NFL. Like, I think Minnesota is really good. I think the Vikings have every piece that you want. Quarterback, they have the offensive weapons. Their offensive line has played incredibly well. And I do think that their defense is probably a top 5 defense in the league. So they have all the aspects. They're well coached. There isn't a reason Minnesota can't be a Super Bowl contender. I think they're a top 5 team. Seriously. The NFC Championship game is not out of their reach. It is not. But the NFC is loaded, so that's their only issue. Minnesota could very well easily get into the NFC Championship game. I do.
Of course.
They are so good.
They are just as talented as every team in the NFC, and I think it comes down to, again, can they get it done in crunch time? And I think beating the Packers and getting past the Packers to win the division, I think those are two big steps.
Because
big steps if they can do that.
I think a lot of this has to do with like who they are now, right? Based on the football that Minnesota's played recently, can I make the argument that the only team that's definitively better than them is Baltimore? Like, other than the Ravens, like I'm not sure San Francisco's better than them. I'm not sure Seattle's better than them. I'm not sure that New Orleans Saints are better than them. I'm not sure. I think they're better than the Packers. I think they're better than Patriots. Like, I think they're better than a lot of these teams. And I'm not sure, like, they're in that same play. Like, we separate San Francisco and Seattle and all those teams as the clear-cut top. I think that Minnesota is in that group. I think we're not noticing it, but Minnesota's in that group. I think Minnesota is that good.
I still would say New Orleans is better than them. Maybe San Fran just by a bit. I mean, they're kind of similar teams. You know, they primarily run the football, throw it with Cousins and Garoppolo when they have to, play strong defense. Cousins is having a better year than Garoppolo. He's having a better year than Garoppolo is. I think it's kind of. I think I'll give you I think New Orleans is better than them. It might be neck and neck between them and San Francisco. Green Bay is interesting because again they kind of have a team that matches up really well with any team in the league, and they've of course are division rivals that beat Minnesota plenty of times in the past. I need to see Minnesota beat the Packers. I think that'd be such a big step if they could beat the Packers and win and be on the track to win the division.
Right.
So, yeah, I'll give you I think New Orleans is still better than them. San Francisco might be neck and neck between those two. It's close. Let's go to the Dodgers. I saw this trade proposal on LB Network. So buy or sell. This trade makes sense. The Dodgers trading A.J. Pollock, Ross Stripling, Dennis Santana, Jordan Sheffield, Jaron Kendall for Mookie Betts and David Price to the Boston Red Sox. So buy or sell, that makes sense. It's a good trade.
All right, so it is Mookie Betts and David Price.
David Price to the Dodgers. The Red Sox get A.J. Pollock, Ross Stripling, Dennis Santana, Jordan Sheffield, and Jaron Kendall.
No.
Sell.
I'm not getting the prospect capital that I need if I'm the Red Sox. I don't do that. Like, I am unloading a big contract with David Price. That's one thing, but...
You're also taking another decent contract with A.J. Pollock.
Yeah, but A.J. Pollock could still play.
Sure.
Like, A.J. Pollock is... And he's not making nearly as much money as David Price. But, like, if I'm the Dodgers, I jump all over that. The issue is that I'm not getting any of their big prospects. I'm not getting Gavin Lux. I'm not getting Keibert Ruiz. I'm not getting Dustin May. Like, I'm not getting any of their big-time prospects. I need more. I need more than that. So I would take out some of the players in that deal. Like, I would take out Ross Stripling. I'd probably take out Dennis Santana. You know, I don't really need Jaron Kendall. Like, you have to give me two of your top three prospects, and one of them probably has to be Gavin Lux. It has to be. I can't not take Gavin Lux. All right. But that does it for buy or sell. That's Evan's favorite game. But that does it for us. Evan Manson, my producer. I'm Mike Guido. This is the Haystack and the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.